Hello everyone. Okay, I'm back. Video number 2 today. I'm just going to update on, I guess my trip, my doctor visit. Got some really good news and some interesting news, stuff I wasn't expecting. Okay, so I showed you the supplements in the last one. I'll show them to you again. Here we go. So these are what my wife and I take. This half is mine and this half is hers, although we both take some of these together. So I guess it's just maybe this and iodine, and maybe that is actually mine by myself, and the rest of these are like hers are over here, and you know, a couple other ones. But yeah, not that that really matters, but that's it. Sure looks like we got a lot of pills, and we have those pill containers, but they're mainly just supplements. There's only a couple actual prescriptions, thyroid stuff for me and her, and because she doesn't have one, she had hers removed, and mine works funny, so they're trying to bump it up. And then the other one is I have vitamin D, and so does she, prescription, because ironically, I've said this before, ironically, living in a state where there's lots of sun and lots of ocean, you would think being out in the sun all the time, surfing or whatnot, that you'd have plenty of vitamin D. The problem is, as soon as you get in the water, you wash it off. So, you know, statistically, I guess, coastal cities, the people's lifeguards especially, are low on vitamin D. Or people that surf all the time, you're actually pretty low on vitamin D. Because we stay in the sun, but we get wet also. Okay, so ADD again. Hi Molly, good girl. Okay, so I went and saw the doctor in January, like I'm supposed to every 6 months, to get so I can get one of the prescriptions, testosterone. I can't get it here. I can't find a doctor that'll work with my specialist functional medicine doctor. They don't understand it because of how they were taught. They get it, but they don't get it at the same time. It's like a difference between like black and white television and colored TV and high def. You know, functional medicine being like more defined, and just more details. Still the same thing, watching the same thing, but there's just more details and a lot more clarity. Which, you know, I'm sure functional medicine doctors, you know, I mean, none, as far as I know, especially mine, he doesn't say anything bad about Western medicine because he's a practitioner of it as well. And, you know, I get prescriptions, so obviously that's what's going down. But anyway, when I went and saw him, he was pretty happy with how my, I've had this issue with my stomach my whole life, as you guys have seen in these other videos. And so they talk about like, it's not IBS, it's like leaky gut apparently. So that's basically the cellular wall in your intestines, you know, between the cells. It basically stuff moves through the walls. It shouldn't move through the walls, and so many parts per million or whatever they measure in your stool. Kind of gross, but that's how they tell if, you know, what's in your stomach. If you have like internal stuff that's not supposed to be in your digestional tract, that's in like your abdominal cavity, that kind of liquid in your stool or whatever, you have this issue. And so when it first started out, I was really high parts per million on the negative scale, which is bad. I was like, I think in the 600s, which is really bad. And then it moved into like the low hundreds, and then the test before this last one, I was at like negative 20 something, which is pretty good. It's healing. It's showing healing, taking my supplements and whatnot. And specifically this one, if I can bring this around, glutamine powder. So I've talked about it before in other videos. You could take it spoonful at a time, or a couple spoons, just a small dose, or 40 grams. I mean, you could take a bunch of it at 40 milligrams, whatever you want. You could take a big spoonful of it. If my stomach's feeling bad, I might take a big spoonful of it. I used to just take like 1 teaspoon before every meal with water, and it would just kind of give my intestinal wall something to as like a layer, a protective layer between the food that was sticking in it and it causing irritation and whatnot. And so I do that, and that was fine. This last test, I was on the positive scale. So negative scale, 600, 100 and something, negative 20. This time I was a positive 197, I think, which is really good. I'm supposed to be up higher, but he said I don't need to. He said I finally, after 40 some years, 46 now, so in 46 years, my stomach has finally healed from an intestinal problem I've had since I was born. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around, but I mean, that's how it went down. So he said, he doesn't need to test me for stool except for maybe once a year now. It's not as common as it used to be because I don't have that issue anymore. He did notice, though, that my digestive enzymes, which I take these, or I could find them a local substitute, the same kind of a thing in like the health store. I can buy those, and I do the same thing. I take 2 with each meal as I'm eating because my pancreas apparently does not make the enzymes to promote good digestion, which I don't think it ever will. And he suspects it was probably damaged way back when I was young, and that was probably the issue. And probably still will continue to be the issue. So I'm supposed to add 1 or 2 more pills throughout the day. Like if I have a snack, take another one, and that should boost it up. And then I take my probiotics were great. My gut biome was great. In fact, I picked up a couple other. Normally, you have like 4 good bacteria in your system. I have picked up a couple extra. I didn't know where I got them from. I eat a lot of like natural and whole food stuff, and I drink a lot of kombucha, and I take some probiotics. So I was pretty stoked, pretty happy about that. So my gut biome was really good. The negative bacteria, or the bad bacteria, almost non-existent. Completely. So there was no issue with any of that. Everything I'm eating really clean, and stuff's going on, and I feel great. He was really concerned about my testosterone. It hasn't gotten any better. In fact, it was actually worse this time. So along with my shots, I also had a little surgical procedure where they install like a 200 milligram size ibuprofen kind of a pill. They inserted that in my right butt cheek below my belt line. Just inserted in there, and it's in like in that first layer there, under my skin, where the body distributes through the blood like a time release. And at like the 3rd month mark, here in another 2 months, I gotta take a blood test and see where my testosterone is at like the peak of where this pill would be, because the way he said it is I'm shooting up every other week, 100 milligrams or whatever. I'm trying to remember what my dose is, but I shoot up and my body uses it so quick that it just uses it up. So he's trying to give me a bigger dose, where I should be in like the 400 to 800 range for a number. I'm like under 100. And so with this boost and with the shot, he said with my shot, I'm probably getting up to 300 at the peak of my shot. And so he's giving me, with the shot, to supplement this other thing in my hip. And so I'm supposed to test again in 3 months, give him that report, and then he'll know whether he has to size the capsule up bigger or smaller to get it and supplement it with more shots as well as it tapers, because it'll build up to 3 months and then come back down, and I take it at the beginning of the taper and the end of the taper to try and keep it more even so my body has it. It really helps with inflammation, especially in men. That's what the testosterone really does for me. And with this injury that I've got, I notice a huge difference if I'm low on it. As I'm increasing, coming up on it, and I take another shot. I just took one the other day. My inflammation really went down in my knee, so that's real positive, and my muscles obviously need it. Anyway, those are the big key points. He was really happy I'm healing really fast, and I had to add a couple extra supplements in there that I didn't have before, some zinc and some iodine. So I always was doing like pink Himalayan salt or just regular Hawaiian sea salt, but I have to get iodized salt, and I take a couple droplets of iodine every day, just to get my iodine up because that was low. Then I also have some zinc. I have to take some zinc too, and a few. That's another one like DHEA to regulate sex hormone. I think I'm not really sure. He says it helps regulate my hormones and my with my testosterone and my thyroid. So it all plays together and it's all part of this balancing thing. Now I'm in like the final fine tuning stages of this balance as my body's healing rapidly, which is amazing. And like I said before, I'm coming up on 2 years. In October it will be 2 years. So yeah, it's amazing. I feel fantastic. I feel great. I feel like I look pretty good. I've dropped 100 pounds roughly over this total thing, at least 60 this last round. And since this is going on as a side effect. And man, I'm hoping this reaches people. I'm hoping people are going to get encouraged by this and try this out because you need this. You need some of this. Your body is craving to be healthy and balanced. And yeah, I just want to encourage you. I'll see you on the next one.